Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about what we call starving the narcissist. This is something that can benefit many people, so I thought we could talk about it on the show today. We often hear narcissists compared to vampires. We often hear about narcissistic supply. Narcissists cannot create or sustain self-worth, so narcissistic supply is what they extract from their interactions with other people and turn into their version of self-worth. They need a constant stream of attention or recognition in order to feel validated. Doesn't have to be positive recognition or attention, just recognition or attention in general. They like positive recognition or attention, but it's not necessary. Any recognition or attention is good enough. In the same vein, it doesn't have to be positive validation. Just validation and acknowledgement that they exist is usually good enough. For a very simple example of this, we can look to so-called internet trolls. Most of us have encountered at least one of them, and many of us encounter them all the time. If you go on the internet, you cannot miss them. In news that surprised nobody, it was revealed a few years ago that studies indicate internet trolls display elevated levels of narcissism. And that sounds about right. What other kind of person makes a hobby out of attacking, harassing, bullying, and upsetting other people? Especially when the only end game to the behavior seems to be to feel powerful and to get attention. That sounds like a narcissist to me. The prevalence of these so-called internet trolls has resulted in the now common refrain, don't feed the trolls. This means don't respond or feed into this person's desire to upset other people, disrupt the conversation, or otherwise cause trouble. No one stays at a buffet when there's nothing to eat, and true to form, trolls that are ignored soon give up and go away. They look for other watering holes where they can ambush people in the hopes of extracting supply they can convert into self-worth. Many people actually respond to these internet narcissists because they believe somebody should say something about the cruelty, the bigotry, or whatever they might be saying. And that's totally understandable, but it's the wrong response. The best response is no response. Remember, narcissistic people receive their supply of self-worth in one of two ways. Either directly through attention given to them or indirectly through competitions they create with other people where they can come out the winner. Most of them are just trying to argue and upset people. If they say things that are rude and horrible, people will be much more likely to respond. They feel validated by the attention and powerful because they have upset other people. They're usually trying to prop up a weak ego and a self-image by appearing smarter, edgier, tougher, or more powerful than they really are. They likely don't even really believe the awful things they're saying, and even if they do, why dignify and validate such nastiness with a response? It only emboldens them to continue. It certainly won't make a difference in anything they believe. The best thing to do is simply ignore them. It starves them of the sustenance they need to continue on, and it makes it more likely that they will simply give up and go away. Now, it may seem like there's no connection between trolls on the internet and the narcissist that you're dealing with personally, but isn't there? Besides the fact that you know this person and they therefore have more direct access to you and can also make their insults a lot more personal, what is the difference in the behavior? There isn't one. And therefore, the best response is the same: no response. Starving a narcissist of the attention they're looking for is the fastest way to make them understand they're wasting their time. Now, this isn't easy, but it is similar to dealing with trolls on the internet, as odd as that sounds. People are people are people are people, whether they're standing in front of you or whether they're not. There have probably been many times when you really wanted to respond to somebody, but you didn't because you knew it was useless and it would only perpetuate a situation that you didn't want to participate in. We have all seen something an internet troll has said and thought, I'm not even going to bother responding to this because there's just no point. It's the same thing in person. There's no point. You'll just be drawn into an endless argument where you're not even being listened to for no other reason than because the narcissist needs something to inflate their floundering self-esteem or because they just have nothing better to do. It's only different because you think it's different. The narcissist on the internet and the narcissist in your life both see you the same way. And it's the way they see everybody. In fact, the narcissist in your life probably has more contempt for you than the narcissist on the internet does, not less. It's important to realize that when you're dealing with narcissistic people, you are likely not dealing with someone who has just had a misunderstanding and wants to resolve it, or a person who's trying to make a valid point in a proper conversation. You're probably not dealing with someone who understands what equality in relationship is, or who has any interest in that at all. You're dealing with someone who sees your value as solely based on what you can give them, and that's it. You're dealing with someone who doesn't care if they are hurtful, doesn't care if they're mistaken, doesn't care if they're rude, doesn't care if they're wrong. You're dealing with someone whose goals for the interaction are very different than yours. You want resolution and understanding because you believe if there can be resolution and understanding, the problem will go away. The narcissist wants conflict because they need to blow off steam and they want to feel powerful. It's not going to work out, and it can't be resolved because the narcissist doesn't want it to be. There's not even anything to resolve. They have no point. They have no side. The conflict is the point. That's why arguments happen even when you're agreeing with them, or why they'll suddenly start arguing the opposite of what they were just saying. They're looking for an opening to attack, and when they can't find one, they just start attacking you anyway. In all seriousness, what is the point of attempting to reason with or even responding in that situation? And as an exercise, I want you to see if you can come up with a reason to do that makes any sense at all. If you can't come up with anything, but you've been doing that, ask yourself why. If you respond to a narcissistic person who is behaving in this manner, either on the internet or in real life, you're feeding into their desire to cause conflict, upheaval, and upset. In doing so, you're reinforcing their destructive coping mechanisms by showing them that they can in fact get what they need and what they want by behaving this way. People will never stop doing something if it works. They will never heal if their symptoms have a payoff. Instead of feeding the narcissist's need for supply, starve them and feed your own self-respect. I hope that clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. I take appointments online and over the phone Monday through Saturday, so if you're interested in speaking with me one-on-one, you can visit littleshaman.org and click the book an appointment tab to go ahead and do that, or you can use the link that's available in the information section of this video. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.